A good evening to you all. Welcome to the English News Bulletin, and this edition will begin with the headlines. Residents of Gicumbi district expressed their concerns to the Minister of Local Government regarding the deteriorating condition of bridges connecting sectors, expressing their inability to repair them independently. The university teachings development in Rwanda in the last 30 years affirms the foundation that Rwanda emphasized, which is fostering a knowledge-based economy. It is always a pleasure to have your company. My name is Olive Nete. Now to the news in details. As we begin this edition of the news in English here in Rwanda Television, let us inform you that President Paul Kagame is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, for the World Economic Forum special meeting on global collaboration, growth and energy for development. Rwanda's Minister of ICT and Innovation explains more about the gathering.
The World Economic Forum special meeting on global collaboration, growth and energy development taking place in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, is going to be focused on looking at the next 10 years ahead, what growth looks like for the world, but more specifically what global partnerships are going to be critical to really driving the growth that the world projects to have. Most especially we'll be looking at job creation, the role of digital technology, entrepreneurship in really driving growth across countries. And the key important takeaway for this special meeting is the focus on ensuring that there's inclusive growth across the different countries. Rwanda has had a long-standing relationship with the World Economic Forum in different sectors, including agriculture, healthcare, education, and digital technologies. Particularly, we host one of the 16 centers of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, but we've also seen multiple partnerships with the World Economic Forum that have really contributed to the growth and progress that we're seeing in Rwanda. So over the next 2 days, we'll be part of the debates and the discussions around global collaboration, looking at what energy security and energy development is going to look like, not just for the world, but also particularly for a country like Rwanda. It will also be a good opportunity to forge new partnerships for the next 10 years ahead, in the different fields, very particularly looking at the landscape of global cooperation, looking at energy development, what kind of partnerships are going to be critical for the growth that we're looking to achieve over the next 10 years.
To more news now, to news regarding community work activities known as Umuganda. Residents of Gicumbi district expressed their concerns to the Minister of Local Government regarding the deteriorating condition of bridges connecting sectors, explaining the inability to repair them independently. The minister reassured them, stating that construction activities for some of these bridges are imminent, beginning with the renovation of the Ndayabana Bridge in Gisije village, which had suffered extensive damage. We have details. During the monthly community work on April 27th in Nyawushingitwa Gisije sector, residents replaced decaying trees used as bridges with new ones. Minister of Local Government Musabyimana Jean-Claude participated in the community work and was informed of residents' concerns about deteriorating bridges connecting sectors.
It
will cost a lot of money and people cannot afford it. The challenges include that no officials can reach here to solve our issues due to the bad road, and it also affects our trade and transportation of goods.
Minister Musabyimana expressed gratitude for the community's proactive efforts in addressing local challenges and assured them of government support. He announced upcoming construction initiatives, starting with the Ndayabana Bridge in Gisije village, which was severely damaged, emphasizing the government's commitment to assist them.
That is why, as the mayor said, these bridges will be completed in a project that has already started, and it is sponsored by various initiatives supporting the vulnerable.
The Gicumbi District's Infrastructure Department estimates that the reconstruction of the Ndayabana Bridge will exceed 90 million. Given the district's susceptibility to disasters, there is a pressing need for adequate budget allocation to replace and remove the aging tree bridges scattered across sectors. Still speaking on the matter, residents in some areas of the city of Kigali, where building permits were previously restricted due to the master plan improvements, are now expressing relief and joy at the lifting of these restrictions. Follow for more details. In the Ndera sector of Gasabo district, construction activities were stopped previously for several days in certain areas due to the ongoing improvements in the housing and land boundaries master plan. Presently, residents of Gisure and Gatare villages are delighted to have received construction permits, making a significant relief for them.
We are grateful that the city of Kigali has provided guidelines and we have started our construction projects. We are going to construct modern houses. They are providing good roads that will favor trade. It will solve the transport issues and we will be having safe and clean roads. The physical plan was approved and we are going to construct modern houses.
Currently, vehicles are engaged in road construction activities with a focus to repairing existing roads and constructing new ones. Additionally, residents are actively participating in the improvement of drainage systems by repairing water pipes and clearing overgrown bushes. These initiatives are being spearheaded by local entrepreneurs.
Activities had stopped due to terms not being met, but now everything is solved. And currently some started constructing and we are preparing roads closer to the local residents. The physical plan is available and what we are doing is introducing new roads.
The mayor of Kigali City, Samuel Dusengiyumva, emphasizes the importance of adhering to the master plan in the city development, highlighting the need for careful consideration of various factors.
We are grateful to the citizens for their roles in establishing new sites, and there are 17 sites set for approval no later than May. We will approve them for residents to continue with their activities.
The city of Kigali has a comprehensive master plan showing zones for housing, agriculture, livestock and industrial activities. Updates to housing plans have been underway, with certain areas temporarily stopped to allow for improvements and corrections to align with the evolving master plan and rectify discrepancies in land documents. Now to education matters. The university teaching's development in Rwanda in the last 30 years affirms the foundation that Rwanda emphasized, which is fostering a knowledge-based economy. This is evidenced by the fact that 3,000 students graduated in the only university existed before the genocide against the Tutsi in its 30 years of existence. And currently more than 8,000 students graduate from the University of Rwanda annually. Prince Manzi with the details.
In the University of Rwanda, the College of Science and Technology, there is a University Innovation Pad where students research on various things that address the population needs.
Currently, what I'm focusing on, I'm working on my passion. I believe that the health soil is the key to the health crops, and the health crops gives the health. The health crops is the health to the people, and health people is the health to the nation. Through that process, I came up with a 2-in-1 solution of making the soil healthy. And the soil to be healthy, it's need organic fertilizer. So I'm working on the waste management to get the organic fertilizer, which is rich in nutrients and is compatible to the Rwandan soil.
If the Irish potato ripe in 5 days, and yet, for instance, I can produce in it a biscuit that would last for 2 years. Jacqueline Mukairanga, managing the University Innovation Pad, demonstrates that all requirements are available for students to properly execute their projects.
UNIPOD stands for University Innovation Pod. It's a project that was funded by UNDP Rwanda in collaboration with the Ministry of ICT and Innovation, plus Timbuktu and also the University of Rwanda. Yes, so UNIPOD came at the right time when the university lacked a fully equipped infrastructure like the one we have at UNIPOD, which is going to nurture creativity and innovation among students. Before that, the university, let me give an example of College of Science and Technology. We have different programs, incubation programs, the Grid Innovation Incubation Program, which gives facility and trainings to students who want to turn their research into business innovative solutions.
The National University of Rwanda was the only university in Rwanda before 1994. From 1963 to 1993, 30 years, about 2,997 scholars graduated in this university. After the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, the university started teachings in 1995, and until 2013, 50,490 students graduated from it. In 2014, this university was named University of Rwanda, and at least 72,408 students graduated from it. Professor Didas Kayihura Muganga, the Vice-Chancellor of University of Rwanda, reiterates that this university has all the qualifications that allow students to study well and do research. Now there are more than 500 teachers with PhD. We have teams of researchers to find our solutions. It is like creating our own jobs. There are things we are ready to support students and citizens in. In 1996, Professor Barinda Rwigamba started the Independent University of Kigali. At least 40,000 people graduated in it. Most of them are in various sectors of life, including decision makers.
But the idea of creating a private higher learning institution at Kigali was just in my mind. In 1996, we started renting 2 small rooms at St. Paul's Parish, the hometown. And after some 2 years, I rented also at Yamaha, at a big hall. And I got a bank loan. IM Bank. At that time, it was a BCR bank to build infrastructures at Kachiru, but it was a wetland. So it was a temporary. Then I looked for this big land on this hill of Gisozi. In 2003, I got it. I fenced it first, and I made this road, internal road, and then the construction started in 2004. And 2007, January 7th, we shifted from Kachiru to Gisozi. Presently, we have many faculties, many schools. School of Economics and Business Studies with finance, accounting, economics. School of Law. School of Development Studies and International Relations. We have the School of Science and Technology with the Department of Software Engineering, Networking, and the Department of Data Science. We have the School of Education with many departments. We have master's program, 8 master's program. You have this leaflet containing all this. So take it for your information.
The Minister of Education, Gaspard Twagirayezu, reiterates that apart from the growing number of private universities, there are also international universities operating in Rwanda. As I said, when you see the country's economy boosting, it is something we are proud of, but also resulting from various policies in place and skills of citizens. The 2022 Population and Housing Census demonstrates that Rwandans with university studies accounts for 3.5%. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
To other news, Rwandans living in the UK and Friends of Rwanda have gathered in the city of Manchester to hold a commemoration event to mark 30 years since the genocide that was committed against the Tutsi here in Rwanda. The event began with a walk to remember, which was followed by the laying of a wreath on the genocide memorial in Southwold, city of Greater Manchester. At the memorial, speeches as well as testimonies from genocide survivors were hard. The mayor of Salford noted that what happened in Rwanda should be a lesson for the world and vowed to do everything in his power to spread awareness of the atrocities that were committed in Rwanda back in 1994, pointing that it was the reason his city played a role in the establishment of the memorial. On his part, the High Commissioner for Rwanda to the United Kingdom told those present that Rwanda had to be reborn and rebuild herself, stressing that it is now the responsibility of all Rwandans to ensure that the genocide is never allowed to happen again. He also observed that the unity of Rwandans is what made reconstruction possible. 600 people attended the commemoration event. To other matters, the Remera Parish of the Pentecostal Church of Rwanda has organized a commemoration event, speeches heard as well as testimonies focused on the work that has been done in providing counseling to genocide survivors and the rebuilding of resilience over the past 30 years. Officials from the Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement asked religious leaders to play a leading role in teaching younger generations of Rwanda's past history, however painful it may be, because it is necessary for them to know in order to avoid making the same mistakes in the future. A similar event was also organized by the Free Methodist Church of Rwanda. Now to other matters, this Saturday, members of the Senegalese Association residing in Rwanda visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi to honor the memory of the victims massacred during the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsi in 1994 and express their solidarity with the Rwandan people. Charlene Furaha for the details.
As soon as they arrived at the Kigali Memorial, they were first told about the history of the genocide against the Tutsi, and then they placed flowers on the grave where the bodies of 250,000 Tutsi rest. Mal Thiam, the representative of the Senegalese community in Rwanda, said that this visit holds special significance to the association, and given the closer ties between Rwanda and Senegal, as well as the crucial role the latter played in promoting peace during this tragic period of Rwandan history. He also expresses his earnest hope that the bond of friendship between Senegal and Rwanda remains forever. Aram Gwe, the vice president of the association, shared a message of strength dedicated to the Rwandan people during this period of commemoration on behalf of our country and the Senegalese Association residing in Rwanda. Young Senegalese Mamoun Fall says that she is pleased to have learned the history of the genocide against the Tutsi, and she urges today's youth to learn from the past to maintain peace in Rwanda, both now and in the future. According to different members of the Senegalese delegation, this visit was much more than a mere symbolic act. It was a testimony of their commitment to peace and reconciliation, and a call to the world to learn from what happened in Rwanda so that genocide does not occur again. Charlene Furaha, RTV News.
Now to health matters. In today's episode of the health segment, we will take a look at the second part of the interview about trauma, exploring strategies that can be employed to help people who are living with trauma. Take a look. There are people who are hesitant to seek help, and there are also people who do not show those emotions, who do not cry, who keep it to themselves, who don't want to show what they are feeling, but yet they are traumatized. Can you elaborate some of the effective strategies for identifying and reaching out to those individuals who are hesitant to seek help?
Hesitations. I think it is normal that we see people being hesitant. You don't disclose your life, your privacy, with anyone and everywhere. So I would say it is normal to see people becoming reluctant or hesitant, because they will be sharing something very important to them, their life. they want to protect themselves because they are also worried about being discriminated after disclosing how they are, the way they feel, yes, being nicknamed. You can see a difference when you say, oh, how is Vincent? Oh, Vincent is not okay. When you say, what Vincent is having? Malaria. Oh, sorry. But you see, when you say, oh, Vincent is traumatized, some people will tend to, oh, really? It's like, oh, as if they don't want to go further. They it's like saying, oh, Vincent is done, and things like that. So, but also, you may have people being hesitant because the way they are feeling themselves, they don't know where to start. Like they are puzzled, they are confused, they don't know where to start. And also they can become hesitant because they don't want to revisit that part of their life, because when they go through, either through any narrative or anyway, then the emotions, the painful emotions are triggered, and it is painful for them to bear with or to manage. They keep holding it. The hesitations means a lot, either as a coping strategy or because of the stigma and discrimination, many things, or they don't know where to go. Because if I say I'm not okay, I cannot explain what is happening to me, but then where can I get the remedy, where to go? And then in that massive confusion, the person will. Now, you are saying, even though they are trying to hide it, if I may use that concept, attempting to hold it, but the reality is still there, because you may see either seeing or hearing people complaining about a number of things, like somatic complaints, chronic headaches, gastrointestinal problem, poor appetite, for ladies, changes their menstrual period or becoming painful. All the somatic complaints, which sometimes will send people to go for consultation in hospitals, and the doctors simply saying, you don't have anything, I don't see anything, you are okay, but still the person is suffering. You may have kind of convulsive manifestations, and we tend to call it epilepsy. Maybe it is not epilepsy. All these manifestations can be indicators of the way the person is behaving in the society. We don't need to be a specialist to see that a friend, a close relative has changed, even at work. Absenteeism, or the person overworking. We tend to say, oh, this one is a very hard-working person. But when you look at the how the person is productive, to produce a one page, it takes more than 7 and 8 hours. Even though the person has been in an office for more than 12 hours, but how the person is being productive in what he or she does, with a million of complaints. Oh, I don't have this. Hey, you guys, you don't. All these things also can be some of the indicators. Now, how do we help them?
I mean, how do we reach out to them? How do we help them? Because at the end of the day, even though they have this trauma, they need to be helped so that they can, continue living.
Yeah.
How do we help them?
How do we help them? I think, and I do think Arabi, because one of the way of helping people is like this conversation we are having, letting people know and take into account what is happening to them. When you feel like you are different from what you used to be, when you feel that predominance of unusual emotions when you see that you are poorly performing socially, in your relationships, in your interactions with people, at work, as a mom or as a dad, the way you interact with your kids, with kind of harsh parenting, for each and everything you are disputing with your partner, your colleagues, when you start having these changes in the way you feel yourself physically, the somatic things, unexplained, as we always say, unexplained somatic complaints, you may say, oh, maybe it has to do with how I experienced. What is important when we are talking about trauma, first and foremost, is to identify in the person's life any traumatic event, being exposed to a traumatic event.
But how do we help them?
Yes, this is what I want to say. The first point I was willing to insist on is leveraging people knowledge about that reality. And then the help will follow. Once I know, like when I'm consulting in a clinic, once I know that possibly what I'm having is possibly malaria, then I will know where to go. But if I keep saying, oh, maybe this is poisoning, maybe this is, I don't know, either demonic possession, satanic things, it will deviate once you have to know. Then we are lucky, I'm happy to say it, we are lucky in our country, in our health facilities, we now have mental health units, services, trained practitioners. So when you go and seek help from those facilities, I'm pretty sure you will have help from that perspective. But the very important help will come also from our community, our families, our what is known as psychosocial support. The psychosocial support will include all of us being attentive to what is happening to our friends, to our family members, being attentive and be supportive. Be supportive can mean also saying, oh, I think what you are experiencing, the way I'm seeing what is happening now is very different from what you used to be. I think you need to go and seek help. You need to talk to a clinical psychologist. You need to talk to any of the staff who is in charge of well-being in your institution. For your permanent chronic headaches and etc., you need to go and seek help to the hospital. Being supportive is also helping the person challenge that sense and thinking like, if I disclose that I'm experiencing trauma-related difficulties, then people will be discriminating and stigmatizing. Help the person challenging that understanding and take a step ahead.
And this story brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin. And on behalf of the technical and news production team, thank you for being part of our news today. Enjoy your weekend. Take care and goodbye.